I'd like to open with a description about an advert put out about a year ago by Dove. It's called Reverse Selfie. It starts with a young girl looking at her phone. On that phone there's a picture of her. She may be late teens, early 20s. Starts to scroll backwards. She sees the comments underneath suddenly disappearing, of all the likes going away, and "you look amazing" disappearing. Suddenly the filter changes, her hair colour changes, the size of her face, her nose, the blemishes on her skin all suddenly reappear. Actually, it goes further. She puts the phone down and lies backwards, and there's a picture of her family that she's scrubbed out off the back of the wall, and her favourite teen band. Furthermore, the image shows her makeup coming off, her lipstick coming off. And finally, what's left in front of us is a girl no older than 13 or 14. And the advert then finishes with, "The pressure of social media is hurting our girls' self-esteem." It goes further. Work from the Mental Health Foundation found that 85% of under 18s thought the appearance was either very important or important. But that led on to 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 3 teenagers feeling actual shame about the way they felt. Now, the Women Inequalities report said that some of the triggers were social media, stereotypes, and, of course, conventional media. That's just some of the survey coming back. And it gives you a flavour of what people are feeling like in this country. But why does this actually matter? Well, let's take the worst case scenario. I've seen, as a clinician in my clinics, men, more and more men, but also women coming in who are concerned about their body image and at worst suffer with eating disorders. And we know there are 1.25 million people who suffer with anorexia or bulimia. But on the male side, we know that there are 1 million people, particularly men, who are using steroids to bulk up, to try and get that stereotypical big shoulders or tight abs. And this was brought home with the evidence when UKAD, the UK Anti-Doping, saw my campaign about body image and came to me saying how much of a problem it's causing them, because they're finding people are using aesthetically enhancing drugs and turning up playing on the rugby field, for example, and then being banned from the sport. We know when it comes to eating disorders, there's been a 50% increase in people accessing the services since 2016 to 2017. So we're seeing the worst extremes, but the thin end of the wedge. Combine those factors with what we've just talked about, the way the nation is feeling, and there's an obvious concern. And it matters because I don't believe social media companies are doing enough. Many have filters, many have educational content in there, and many have ways of trying to filter out some of the problems they're facing. But fundamentally, we need to go further because the problem is getting worse. And it's young people who bear the brunt of this. Now, other countries have started to make strides in this direction. Most noticeably, Israel, France, and even more recently, Norway have said they will look at labelling digitally altered images. So there is a precedent, not only here, but across the Western world, to make a difference. What we're creating is a warped sense of reality that drives young people to believe that they can be something that they can never achieve. I'm all for aspiration and improving your aesthetics. I'm a GP by trade, and healthy, promotional sport, exercise, and taking care of your body is welcome, but not at the cost if you can never achieve your goal.